There will never be another game quite like Majora's Mask for me. The sheer amount of nostalgia that comes to mind just from hearing the name, or that clock chime, or any song from the game in my head, sends a chill up my spine. Time. Time is everything. Life. We live our lives on the crunch, looking at the clock frantically while we wait for our shifts at work to end, or the boring seminar we're sitting in, or the preacher's message at the church that you don't want to be at. We frantically check our watches. Let's go home and eat, sleep, love, multiply, and one day we will have our final hours. I'm not sure if it's because of the fact that I had an ultimate goal in my life to beat this game, or I wanted to beat it later in life because I wanted to be a better gamer than my older brother, who was always the better gamer than me, who still to this day cannot beat this game. All the hours spent as a kid, me trying to make it past just the southern swamp. If you think of it, Majora's Mask deals with all life problems. We go back to things like this to try to win at something, to be good at something, anything. Majora's Mask deals with a lot. Time, like we said before, socialism, love, and death. So why did I wake up out of nowhere at 4 in the morning and want to write about this? It's that important to me. So buckle up and enjoy the video. It all started when I was a kid in the early 2000s. I will never forget the day my father came home with the cardboard box. Me and my older brother looked up to my dad, just wondering what was inside the box in his arms. For just a little over $100, maybe less, which was a steal at the time, my dad had bought a box containing a Nintendo 64 that had up to 20 games, 4 controllers, 2 rumble packs, and 2 expansion packs. Like I said, definitely a steal at the time. Among those Nintendo 64 games were some of the greatest: Super Mario 64, Mario Parties 1 through 3, Donkey Kong, and 2 of the best video games ever made in my opinion: Zelda's Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I don't remember me and my brother playing any game as much as we played Ocarina of Time as kids. The amount of time we spent in that open world game was insane. You see, all we had ever had was Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo and Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation, which was a 3D game, but did not give you the ability to explore like Ocarina of Time. The freedom to do what you want in a video game was something we had never seen before, and it blew our minds. We weren't used to seeing it in this time. Back then it was the future. But of all these amazing games, one of them really stood out to me for all of my life. It immediately became my goal, as it does for many. I'm gonna beat this game. I will never forget the feeling it felt to finally even make it to the final showdown in Ocarina of Time, much less win the game as a kid. Ocarina was my favorite video game for many of years, but there was always this want, the desire, the drive, and sheer goal to beat Majora's Mask. It would haunt me for my whole life, and I wouldn't quite get it until my late 20s, and I will tell you why. When you are young and adolescent, sometimes like me, maturity can come a little later in life. I was a bit rebellious for a while, but when we are children or teenagers, we don't pay attention to detail usually. This doesn't apply to all children, but some have a harder time paying attention, like me. ADHD, they called it. Majora is one of those games that require a lot of reading. Paying attention to all the dialogue in just the beginning of Clocktown alone is significantly important. And if we can't focus, we won't understand. I didn't even know the reverse song of time or the Song of Double Time till my late teens on the Wii release. But even as a teen, Majora would win, and that moon would continually crash into the world of Terminal. COVID-19 was a hard time for all of us, but it brought about many good things in my life. One would be watching more YouTube, seeing creators grow, and inspiring me to start my own channel, which you are seeing in the works right now. But while in lockdown, I thought that I would give this game another shot, and then it dawned on me. I thought of something. The game asks you to write down a code at the beginning, the bomber's code. It puts emphasis with exclamation points. Write this down. So continually resetting time cycles, I would go to each area of Clocktown every single day, observing the NPCs, talking to them, and writing down information. Eventually you figure things out, if you take time. Time is everything in this game, and the emotion that was put into it is impeccable. I have never heard a better story. A boy loses his friend, has another friend stolen from him. He's helping people heal and to pass on to the other side while taking on all of their burdens. And overall, the boy is tasked with saving the world while gaining the trust of others. It sounds insane. Yes, I may have looked up some of the side quests and the right time to perform them, but the main game, the dungeons, fairy locations, and making it to the moon after 20 plus years, I finally beat it. And boy, it felt good. I just realized that patience and time management is key. It is said that Majora's Mask is known as Miyamoto's challenge because it was developed in a short year with a huge stressful deadline from a developing team. And it shows throughout the game's premise. This game will always be a mysterious thing to me. How so much can go into one thing, it blows me away. That's why Majora's Mask is and always will be my favorite and the best video game of all time. And I hope after this video you have gained a lot of love for it as well, and view it not as a stressful goal to beat, but a remarkable piece of art with extreme detail. And like I said, it will always be my favorite, till me and you have our own final hours. Goodbye.